Peace. We're going to do a Lenormand reading for the earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Let's get started. So I'll be using, my name is Jewel, by the way. I'll be using the Grandma Babies Black and Gold Lenormand. The link will be down below if you're interested in the deck. I'm also going to use Species by the Thousands for clarification. And then we'll finish up with the Black Goddess Within Oracle card for more clarification. All right, so for the earth signs. All right, so Spirit, what messages do you have for us for the earth signs for the month of June? What messages do you have for us on our spiritual journey? Let me get a sip of my tea. In any of your placings, you can view the videos. I'm a Libra air, but I also have a Virgo ascendant, and I have a Aquarius moon. So when you're viewing videos, you can pretty much watch any of the signs where you have those major placements and to receive information. All right, Spirit, thank you. Thank you, ancestors, for your protection, for your strength, your courage. Thank you, Spirit, for the higher level knowledge. Thank you, Most High, for the gift of life. Thank you. Earth signs for the month of June. We have the mountain. We have the cross. We have the ring. We have the key. We have the rider. So right there in the middle, we have news coming in, people coming in, opportunities coming in. We have the moon. We have the bear. We have the child. And we have the waters. So this is a very unique Lenormand deck. It has the normal 36 cards, but she's also added some extra ones to tap into that ancestral energy. All right, so let's take a quick peek. On the bottom, we have the tree. The tree in Lenormand deals with family connections. It deals with our health, our vitality, the roots. It deals with our health. All those things can be dealt with or talked about with the tree energy. Standing strong, standing firm. Some of these cards were out with the Libra, not the Libra, but the Libra, Aquarius, Gemini reading, the air sign reading. All right, so let's take a quick peek. So I'm looking at this line here, the mountain, the key, and the bear. So the mountain card, anytime that card comes up, it means that things could be taking time. And you're asked to be strong as you're moving through changes in your life. Underneath it, it says you have the keys here. Okay, some important information is coming in as well with the writer, but also that you have something important to say, you have something important to do, or you've done it in the past. The bear for me is always, it's many different things. It's about nurturing the self, caring for the self with the bear. It's the idea too of things that don't come necessarily right here and there, because the bear deals with hibernation, a time for rest and a time for movement. But also the bear in the Lenormand is leadership and things that have time around them, things that have been built up over time. Businesses come with the bear, the idea of being an entrepreneur, but also mainly just being in a leadership position, being strong in a leadership position. Having the mountain here and the bear and with the key in the middle, it means you have extremely important knowledge, all right? Your knowledge is your strength. That's your power. But also that you need to find a way to put yourself in a leadership role. A leadership role doesn't have to be within a company, within an organization. A leadership role can be in your own life, making the decision to be a leader in your own life. The mountain beside the cross here is spiritual fortitude and strength that's needed when you go through difficulties in life. That's what I get with that. But also, with the ring here, making sure that you are honoring your connections with the self, with who you are, but making sure that you are in the proper connections here with the mountain, the cross, and the ring. You're dealing with the right types of people. You're in the right types of environments here with those energies. Always be ready and open to spiritual information coming in. Information from your ancestors, information from your guides with the cross, the rider, and the child. Also, the cross, the rider, and the child. The cross is a spiritual card, the idea of higher spiritual knowledge, but it can also be a card of difficulties, of burdens, right? And so if difficult information comes in, or if something in your life is difficult and it's repeated in that way, or you feel like you always are hearing news that might not be what you want, Spirit is saying first believe in a new vision. That was in the past reading. But also remove some of the seriousness around certain things in your life and have a different approach to how you receive information, how you receive things, and be a little bit more forgiving, be a little bit more light. But back to that idea of the difficult information coming in, these cards are, this is extremely spiritual energy here with the mountain and the cross. Some of us have spiritual callings that we're not following up on here with that energy. The mountain, it's things are coming slowly, but it's also strength, but it's things that we don't necessarily see. And so Spirit is saying that they're asking, are you acknowledging your spiritual gifts? Are you acknowledging that spiritual information that you have to share with others in whatever way is right for you here? Because we have the bear here, which is leadership. And we have the key, which means that you have some information, you have some knowledge to share. Honoring your strong spiritual commitment with the mountain, the cross, and the ring. Powerful, destined commitments coming in with this as well. For some of us looking for partnerships, for some of us looking for new connections, those things are coming in if the commitment is there with the ring. The commitment doesn't have to be a physical ring. It's just the idea of people coming together and committing to a cause or an idea. Maybe you received messages from Spirit as a child, because we have the cross, the rider, and the child. Spirit is saying you need to remember those, the way that you would feel, the way that you were bold enough to allow that information to come to you freely and honestly. And maybe return to that way and allow those gifts and those abilities to come back to the forefront. Let them be a driving force in your life here with the rider. The rider is also a messenger, so the idea of receiving messages from others, but also you are a messenger as well with this information, with this rider right here in the middle of a card. With Lenormand, for me as a reader, that middle card, all the cards are absolutely important. All of them play a major part. It's a story that we're reading here, right? It's a story that we're reading. But this rider right in the middle is so many things happening. It's things happening around you with messages coming in, information coming in, new people, new ideas, new visions. But it's also you, your energy. What are you taking out? What are you sharing? What are you giving with others? The key to your movement will be your success. So Spirit is saying that you have to move, whatever it is. So don't be stagnant in your thought. We have the bear energy and we have the mountain. The idea of the mountain is not non-moving, but the bear doesn't move, as it hibernates. It goes into that moment of sleep to prepare the body for movement. Storing up what you need, But Spirit is saying you already stored it up here because we have this key. You already have what you need. It's already been stored up. Okay, you've already had your period of rest. And if you're still resting, that's fine. But when it's time to move forward, Spirit is saying that the keys come through your action. That's a success with the moon. The moon card in the Lenormand deals with recognition. It deals with that idea of letting that leader come to the forefront here with the moon card. But also this picture of this particular moon card with this gentleman here, it's the idea of being sad or being unsure. And we have the cross here. We have the mountains here. So hardship gained, lessons gained over time with the mountain, with the cross, wisdom gained over time. You don't come out of this energy without having wisdom. The moon deals with that recognition, honoring the agreement that you have with yourself to be a leader in your own life. That's the agreement. That brings about the purification of the water here. The water is to be baptized, okay? It's to go in and come back anew. It's transformational. It's that type of energy. It's the awakening of life. Honoring that commitment that you had with yourself to be a leader here. Also, the moon, not necessarily in Lenormand, but it can be. But for me, I read the cards how I feel them. Intuition, intuitive knowledge, right? Not received in any books. It's just in the heart. It's in the soul. That leads to your transformation with the water. Coming out of difficult times here with the water card. Asking for renewal of life with the child in the water. The bear, the child, and the waters card. That's an interesting energy to me because it's the idea of going through something and needing to rest, needing to back down from it, needing to pull away from it. But now with the child energy, it's new, bringing the newness back, all right? Well, the idea of back is something from the past, but bringing a new idea into it, bringing a new passion, new spark, a new flame. That'll activate the energy of the baptism with the water. All right. This is what we're working on for the month of June. Being leaders in our own life so that we can rightfully, truthfully, honestly, purposefully step up to that leadership position wherever it may be. All right. We start doing that by realizing that we have the knowledge, realizing that we have the wisdom from hardships and lessons that have gathered, from living, from life over time. All right, let's see what else. Thank you, Spirit. That strong foundation here with the tree. The ancestral connection with the root. The tree is nothing without the root. But the root also has to be fed. It has to be nourished, the roots of the tree. That's this bear energy, knowing when it's time to rest the body, feed the body properly. Feed the body properly with food, nourishment, but feed the body properly with how you speak, with the verbal food. How we speak into ourselves, all right? That's also feeding the body and feeding the mind, feeding the spiritual self. Balance, bringing the body into balance with the bear energy. The bear deals with nurturing the self, self-love. Growth, balance will lead to growth. And then self-expression, that emerald card, that heart chakra energy. Loving yourself enough to rest if you've been going and you've been hitting blocks with the mountain. Sometimes you hit those blocks because you're not accessing that information here with the key. Spirit is saying that you have to slow down with the bear energy. Slow the body down, slow the mind down. If you're hitting those blocks in life, you have to slow down. All right, so growing with the heart. This is heart chakra energy with the emerald. The emerald deals with love for me. but growing the heart, how you love yourself, how you see yourself, how you're loving your others. The messages that you share should be loving to others and to the self. That's how you bring your body into your mind into balance. Honoring your self-expression. Spirit is saying that you are a leader. First being a leader in your life, but being a leader in other avenues. But your self-expression is different with the Kyanite. All right, so sometimes with the mountain and with this cross, the idea of having to strongly commit to yourself, because maybe your vision is different, maybe your voice is different, maybe how you speak and how you see the world is different. All right, it takes power to move forward with visions like that. But we have the mountain here, which means you stand on a firm foundation. You have the key underneath it, which means that the wisdom is powerful, it's there. The Kyanite is saying, open your voice, open your throat chakra. This is a throat chakra energy. Open, open and speak your truth. Speak your truth. Maybe one person will hear it, maybe nobody will hear it, but you will hear it. You will hear it. And sometimes that's the power of bringing ourselves into leadership in our own lives, is speaking our truth and listening to it ourselves before anybody else can hear anything that we have to say. Because the idea is that if you have things to say that are different, you know, because if you're watching me, you're different. All right, we all are different. That's not what I mean. I mean not the group think, and I mean not, we're not following the influencer here. We're not doing what this person tells us to do. We're not buying what this person wants us to buy. We're not using this exact same verbiage that they're saying out there in the wild, out there in the streets. We're doing our own thing. We speak in a different way. We walk in a different way. We dance in a different way. All right, and so that means that you might be on your own, right? But you're never on your own because you have your ancestors. You have a supportive spirit. You have a spiritual support. Sorry about that. Let's pull a card from the Black Goddess Within Oracle. And this is by Giovanni Washington. And I'll put the link for this one down as well. And I'm going to read from the book, if that's all right. Spirit, what message do you have for us as we're stepping into our leadership role? Leading ourselves first. Becoming leaders in our own lives. Not being dictated by the world. Not being dictated by what we see and hear around us. Not being swayed by the emotions of others. Standing strong and firm like this tree. Planting our roots nice and deep like this tree. All right, being unmovable and unshakable like this mountain. Spirit, thank you. This was the same card that came out for the last reading for Libra. I'm going to read it. All right, restoration. All right, restoring something from the past. All right, if you have the ability to communicate with spirit, this is not saying you have to come out and you have to read cards and you have to become a medium and you have to do this. It's not about that. It's about whoever you are. Spirit has the ability to work with all of us, no matter what we do, no matter what your occupation is. There's room for spirit there. There's room for your ancestors there. Whatever your profession is, this is not about changing necessarily what you do, because you've planted seeds here with the bear. Wherever you are in life, spirit can meet you there. Wherever you are in life, your ancestors will work with you. And wherever you are in life is where you're supposed to be, right? Because you have the key here. I'm going to read Mbokumu because she has something to say. It came out in the air sign reading. In Gombe, Democratic Republic of Congo. You will find Mbokumu immersed in a lush and vast tropical forest that is older than the oldest trees. The forest is so unknowable that it is often considered itself a powerful deity. Walking the labyrinth of mysteries that winds in the wildwood, Mbokumu cultivates plant beings and shares her immense knowledge freely with her people. She is the first gardener where she plants, gardens prosper. Mbokumu also has a special relationship with a particular plant, the sacred libaka or silk cotton tree. The libaka tree symbolizes the unity between the seen and unseen, a breathing, rooted connection between the ancestors and the living, meaning union The Labaka tree stands in ancestral witness. The new village is not complete until the Labaka tree is planted, surrounded by other plants and trees from the previous village. If you're pulling this card, the ancestors are reminding you that the ancients and their wisdom are always with you, in both physical form and in spirit. The time-honored Libaka tree reminds you that the ancestral connection is vital to divinely inspired action. Invitation. Consult with your ancestors before embarking on new endeavors. Invite them to the party. Right? Beautiful message. Take care until next time. Peace. Sending you love.